All right, everyone, back at the lake. First hand, I look down at ace, queen, 10-7, single suited under the gun in a straddled pot. I limp, one late position limper. Back to the straddler who makes it 50 total. I call and the limper calls, so we're going three ways to a flop. Flop comes ace, king, 8 with 2 diamonds. The original raiser checks. I check over to the late position player who bets 120. The original raiser folds to me, and I also fold. Here I look down at ace, king, 9-8, single suited in the small blind. There are 2 late position limpers. I make it 20 total. Big blind and 3 bets to 65. One player folds, then one caller over to me, and I make the call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes jack 10-3 rainbow. I check over to the big blind who pots it for $200. Late position player thinks for a bit and folds, back over to me. So here I don't really think calling makes any sense. I pretty much have to either push or fold. I do obviously have 8 outs to the nuts, either the queen or the 7, but if he has a hand such as ace, king, queen, that's going to have me in pretty bad shape here, so I decide to fold and pick a better spot. Here look down at ace, 10-9, single suited in the cutoff. There are a couple limpers over to the hijack to my right who makes it 25. I then 3-bet to 90, folds over to the hijack who makes the call, so we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes king, king, queen, rainbow, checks over to me, and here I don't think I have to really bet that large. He's either going to have a very strong hand or absolutely nothing here, so I down bet to 60 and my opponent folds, so we take it down. Here look down at ace, 10-4, single suited in the small blind in a straddled pot. There is one early position limper. Next player makes it 45. There are 2 callers, folds over to me. I make it 240, and there are 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes king, 5-2 rainbow. Only one move for me to make. I push everything in the middle. Next player calls, and then the next player folds. So we're going heads up to a run out. Turn brings the worst card in the deck and another king. River brings a 7. I turn over my hand, and my opponent turns over his. He has king, jack, 10-3. So he's going to take it down with trips here. I rebuy another $600, and I look down at ace, 6-4, single suited in the cutoff. There are 2 early position limpers. Folds to me, I make it 30, and there are 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes king, 7-6 with 2 spades. Checks over to me, I bet 150, and there's 1 caller, so we're going heads up to a turn. Turn brings a 5 of diamonds, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. My opponent checks to me. He only has about $230 left. He's actually the same guy from the previous hand, and I just put him all in, and he makes the call, so we're going heads up to a river. River brings a queen of hearts, so not really sure what I beat here, but my opponent doesn't look too thrilled about his hand either, so I just say 1 pair and turn over my hand, and my opponent shakes his head and mucks. So happy to get some money back from the opponent from the previous hand, and we're taking it down here. Here look down at ace, 9, 8-3, double suited on the button in a straddled pot. Folds to me, I limp, both the small blind and the big blind call the $10 straddle. Over to the straddler who makes it 50 total. I make the call and both the blinds fold, so we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes king, queen, 4 with 2 diamonds. My opponent checks to me. I bet 105, and my opponent thinks a bit and makes the call, so we're going heads up to a turn. Turn brings an ace of hearts, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. My opponent immediately pots it, and here, pretty bad card, obviously. Now it brings in jack 10, obviously. He's going to have a lot of 2-pair combos with this card, so I decide to fold, and my opponent shows ace, queen, jack 10. So he turned the straight and actually had a flush draw to go with it, so he's going to take it down. Here look down at ace, queen, queen, rainbow in early position. Folds to me, I open to 20, and there are 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes 8-7-2 rainbow. Small blind's counting out some chips, and he bets 55 over to me. This is a hand that I commonly see a lot of newer PLO players just making the call without thinking about. But, besides thinking about the current street you're on, you have to think about runouts. So, on this board, really, what turn card do I want to see that's not an ace or a queen? There's going to be so many bad ones. Obviously, any straight card, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, jack, 8 or a 7. Maybe a deuce or a 3 is really like the only card that I wouldn't mind seeing besides an ace or a queen. So I decided to fold here. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Here look down at ace, jack, 5-4, double suited in the cutoff. Middle position player makes it 20. Next player calls to me. I call, and one of the blinds calls. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace, jack, 3 rainbow. Checks over to me. I bet 80, and only the original raiser calls. So we're going heads up to a turn. Turn brings an ace. My opponent checks, and here I don't really think slow playing is a great play most of the time, and I know that I tend to over slow play, but here I just decide to check back and kind of set the trap for him, and we're going heads up still to a river. River brings a king. My opponent immediately shoves his remaining 2-10 in the middle. If he has ace king, he has ace king. Oh well, I'm not going to fold, so I snap call. And my opponent turns over pocket kings, and I of course show him the bad news, and we're going to take it down here. Look down at ace king queen queen, single suited in middle position in a straddle pot. Folds to me. I open a 35, and there are 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace 9-8 rainbow. Checks to me, and I decide to check here. There's going to be a lot of jack 10s and 10-7s in my opponent's ranges where they're not really going to fold. So over to the late position player who bets 95, folds over to me, and I fold. He flashes 2 of his cards and shows pocket 9s, so he's going to take it down. Here, look down at ace ace queen 9, single suited on the button in a straddled pot. There are 2 early position limpers. Cut off to my right makes it 40. I make it 160, and there are 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. Some of you may already be familiar with what happens in this hand, as I posted about it last month on Instagram. Flop comes jack 10-3 rainbow. Checks over to the cutoff to my right, who pushes for 440 over to me. As I had mentioned in the post, I don't really think I can ever fold this hand for such a low SPR. I mean, sure, I am going to be up against the set sometimes, maybe some, jack 10, top 2 pair, but I have a pretty decent amount of equity against any hand. So I re-push over the top, over to the early position player who makes the call, and we're going 3 ways to a run out. Turn brings probably the worst card in the deck in a 9 of hearts, also bringing in a backdoor flush draw. River brings a 10, so not really sure what I beat here. My opponent to my right turns over his hand. He has ace king queen 6, so he flopped the wrap and turned the king high straight. And the early position player shows his hand as well. He has queen 9 7-7. So I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen here. I was actually a pretty good favorite on the flop. I had almost 60% either to win or chop, as me and my opponents are sharing a lot of cards, but it doesn't go our way, as the person to my right is going to take it down here. Based on the math of me winning the side pot, I only ended up losing a couple $100 in the hand, so not as bad as it could have been. Here, look down at king king jack 6, single suited in early position. I open a 15, and there are 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen 9-6 with 2 diamonds. Checks over to me, I check, and action checks through, so still going 5 ways to a turn. Turn brings a 10 of clubs, bringing the backdoor flush draw. I check over to the button who bets 45. Folds over to me, I check raise to 160, and over to my opponent who quickly folds, so we take it down. Played a little while after that king king jack 6 hand, didn't get a ton to play. Game took a turn for the worse, and I decided to rack up.
What's up, guys? Wayne back here with you. So today I was in for 1200, out for 770, so loss of 430. If you guys haven't already done so, check out my previous video. I'll link it up here. I play some PLO at Ocean's 11, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.